Hey guys, welcome to the arcade. What's that? One second, get stupid thing. I had everything checked before I hit live, and then of course something pops up that I wasn't expecting. Let's start that one again. Hey guys, welcome to the arcade, and thank you very much for joining me tonight. I'm back, at least for in a limited capacity anyway. I do intend to try and start doing videos again. Just the last few weeks have been just uber busy. Things are starting to settle down again a wee bit, so I'll start being able to do more of the live again. These kind of streams, want to do a bit more let's plays. I've always said that I want to do more let's plays. I really enjoy doing that and just sort of interacting with people that are on at the same time. I really love doing Valhalla, or not Valhalla, Valheim, but I really don't think I'm going to be able to do that anymore. I've just gotten to a part where I'm completely stuck and I can't get my stuff back. Anyway, have a few things that I wanted to talk to you about tonight, so we'll kick things off sort of mentioning the videos that I'm doing at the moment. One of the ones that I put out recently was in regards to the Polycade, and the idea behind it was that I wanted to your video has been restored. I hate when I get messages like this. What video and what was wrong with it to begin with? I'll check that out later. I really should just take my watch off when I'm doing these streams. So yes, Polycade. The reason I'm going down that route is because I'm kind of fancy looking at building myself a Polycade machine. Now, I've been interested in Polycade for a while. This was back when they were only doing their own machines, and I was looking at it as an alternative to the iArcade because I didn't see them coming over to the UK in any soonish timeline. And now that iArcade are gone, I'm looking at Polycade again a bit more closely, I guess I could say. I want a machine, like I have arcade machines all around here that are capable of running a vast amount of games, mostly from the 80s and 90s and things like that. And that's fantastic. But the iArcade stood out because it was capable of running more modern games, and these sort of modern retro games like Donut Dodo and things like that. So the Polycade is kind of in the same genre. It is a pretty beefy processor, graphics card, everything built into it. It's a serious piece of kit, and it can run a lot of modern games and these new indie games that would be coming out that are sort of in that retro style that lend themselves to an arcade. So that's the idea of the videos that I've been doing. I've been looking for games that I think would really work on it. So I've got a few that I've done in part where I need to finish off the editing in it. That game that's sort of just come out at the tail end, the last couple of days there, Dave the Diver. I've looked into that and I think that would be an excellent game to put on a machine like this as well. So if you've never heard of Polykit, I'll jump over and kind of run you through the idea behind it. So this is their sort of website. Now, like I say, they do their own machines. However, they are wild expensive. So here is the ones. Now they did do a retro original. That was kind of the one I was looking at, and I think it was maybe £2,000, something like that. This big marquee on the top of it, I don't really like, but I like the form factor of the Retro 2. I can't seem to shift over to the other image. That's weird. So, as far as I can see, they do kind of market themselves more to a commercial setting because it's all set up for coin operated. Now you can't get these ones which are sort of to hang on the wall. They are just wild expensive, but the reason for them is the specs. If it will show what is actually in it. So there we go. Now you are talking about, it's a beefy enough machine when you look at it. I do think they are overpriced, which is why it's like outside of a lottery win, I didn't see myself being able to pick one of these up. But in the last sort of 8-9 months, they released the software that runs behind Polycade. So this is, it's the Polycade AGS, which is kind of the operating system that runs on the Polycade machines. So you can download it for free and run it on your own machine, which I have done. And it's really, really nice. They have access to their own store. You can get a load of games on there. I don't know if I can actually have a look at the store. Can we see what's actually on at the moment? So here's an idea of some of the modern games that are on it. So you've got Speedrunners, Broforce. Those are cracker little games. I can never pronounce that one, but my son really likes it. I don't know. Pikunuku? Let's go with that. Minute, fantastic little game. All these sort of modern games that lend themselves to work really, really well on a arcade control scheme. And so this is the stuff that's on their store. However, the Polykit software also links in to your Steam account if you allow it. So that opens up another sort of highway of games that you can get. Like, I have loads and loads of games on my Steam account, and there's a load of them that I think would run really, really well on an arcade machine. I've done a series of games, a series of videos based on a few of them, but you do get more of these modern games coming on to Steam that you kind of think would work. So this is what I'm looking at. I think I could build a Polycade type machine for a fraction of the price, really. When you're talking about $6,000, you could pick up a decent spec mini PC and then build a cabinet around it, install Polycade's software, and then run it through that way. And that's kind of where I'm going with it. So this is the idea behind some of the videos that I'm putting out. I just want to see games that I think would run on it, and maybe it gives other people a bit of an idea as well. I do think the Polycade machines are wild expensive, but there's another way of doing it that maybe other people haven't thought of or haven't explored. With iArcade now gone, and that's another thing. I don't really have a great opinion with iArcade. I think it's a big shame that they're gone. And at first sight, I thought that it was really sad, but they were going to do right by people, and then they started taking away games and doing things that they really shouldn't have bothered with. If they were going out of business, I didn't see the point. So it's a big shame that they are gone. It's a loss. We'll never see it over here. I just think it was weird the way they went out. And I don't want to go too much into it because I don't have any of the facts and figures, because I didn't follow them that closely. I kept bugging them to see if they were going to come over to the UK, and they never really did. They stopped they stopped responding to me after a while. I used to send like at least 2 emails a month just asking if they would come to the UK, and the response was always the same. It was like, it's not on the roadmap. You know, maybe some point we'll add you to an email list and we'll get back to you at some point. So yes, Polycade is definitely something that I have been looking into and are quite interested in moving forward with it. I think I just need to find the games that I would want to run on it, and then I'll get an idea of the spec of the mini PC that I need in order to run it. So that's where I'm going with this. I think I should be able to, if I could pick up an old cabinet shell, even if just the shell. There was one on Gumtree about 3-4 months ago, and it was up on Gumtree for 40 quid, and the guy basically said nothing works on it. The monitor was dead, the controls were dead, the circuitry inside was completely gone. I can't even remember what game it was, but he was selling it for 40 quid, and all I wanted was the shell, because I was going to stick a new LCD monitor into it. I was going to put the arcade deck into it. All I wanted was the shell, and by the time I got to it, it was gone. So I missed out on that, but hopefully I'll be able to see something like that come up again. I will absolutely jump on it, because I just want the shell. I just want the shell. That's that. I have no woodworking skills at all. I could not build one of these cabinets to save my life, and that seems to be where the expensive part comes into it. I have built the bar top there. Well, I say build, I put it together badly. Like even the wee DIY kits, they are pricey enough. Being able to find one that was, put together and everything like that would have been fantastic. But anyway, that's Polycade, so that's certainly something that I'm looking out for. Moving on to other sort of news, Arcade 1UP, let's talk a little bit about them. So I think it was last week I put out a quick video to say that the deluxe cabinets had been spotted in the wild, and they came from a retailer that I wasn't really expecting. And it was so if you've never heard of them, they're like I think they started off as a catalogue, and now they've just become this sort of shopping network. From what I understand, I've never bought anything from them, but I understand they're a decent retailer. They're now solely online. You send off for what you want, they'll send it out to you. If you don't like it, you send it back to you. It's completely free of charge. they'll take the returns, no questions asked, that kind of idea. And I know people use them quite a lot for clothes and stuff like that, so I was surprised when I saw the deluxe cabinet appear on Very's website, and it was the Miss Pac-Man one. Or sorry, not Miss Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man and Galaga, so it's Class of 81 that appeared. And, 600 quid, I was a bit disappointed to see that price tag, because the Americans had been going on about, they were really happy that the price of the cabinets were going to be the same as the last generation of legacy cabinets, and that was really good to see. And so we were hoping for the same thing, and no, we got shafted again. Another £100 on it, so wasn't very pleased with that. I didn't even mean that. But we haven't seen them appear on any other retailer at the moment. Very was the first one to get them, so they may be, putting up the price. We'll have to wait and see. Although with other ones we've said this before, and it's pretty much been the exact same price for all retailers that get their hands on them. Now, I put up that video, and I would say within a day they had marked it out of stock. Now, one of the friends of the channel, Gunstar Hero, he jumped on and ordered, or pre-ordered. No, it did say available. There was no pre-order actually. So he had ordered the cabinet, got in there before it had gone to out of stock. He'd been waiting on this one, so absolutely he was going to jump on it, and fantastic for him. He got his order confirmation, everything went through, and then a few days later they sent him an email out, said, sorry, it's cancelled. The order, they just cancelled the order. Now, from this, I will assume, now I can't say for certain because I don't know, that they didn't get their stock in. That's why they've had to quickly reorient it themselves. They've had to cancel any orders that had gone through. If my video caused people to jump on there and order them, good. I'm going to assume that we're seeing the same problem that the retailers had with Marvel vs. Capcom. That they were told this will be the date you will get your how many items, and then it didn't happen. And then Arcade 1-Up said no, it'll be next week, and then it was the week after, and then it was the week after. And I think Game were the ones hit the worst on that. They had a couple months delay in regards to Marvel vs. Capcom. Like, I had got mine, set it up and was playing it, and one of the guys who's on our Discord channel, he was still waiting. Like, he was still waiting on Game actually saying, it's being shipped to you. So there was a great amount of delay through Marvel vs. Capcom, and I think we're seeing the same thing here. Now, I can't say for sure. None of the other retailers have anything regarding the deluxe cabinets up. Very is still the only one there. I'm hopeful that we'll start to see the other ones appearing. I like the Class of 81 is a lovely looking cabinet. It's definitely one that I'd kind of be interested in. I think the games list on it is pretty decent. It's very similar to the Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man legacy cabinets. You've got Galaga, you've got Galaxian, Dig Dug, Mappy, and then there's the variants between Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, so Rolling Thunders, Tower Daruga, King of Balloon. So you gotta weigh it up. Is it worth picking this one up for only a handful of unique games on it? So it's one that I'm gonna have to take a closer look at. At the moment, it doesn't seem to be you can't pick it up at the moment anyway, so it's not really too much of an issue. But I would hope that we'll see the Mortal Kombat one soon, because I'd love to get my hands on that. I think for 600 quid though, it's again disappointing. I would have paid, you know, $4.99 for the new Mortal Kombat. I don't know if I'd pay 600. It's a big ask. But like I say, none of the other retailers seem to have the deluxe cabinets in yet. Now, I did have a little look before we went live, and I can actually say that a couple of retailers now have a sale on. Now, Quirky, they went on sale a day or so ago. Now, I didn't really mention anything about it, simply because the sale's all right. You know, you're saving 250 quid on the Marvel pinball table. It's still 650 quid. That's a lot of money for the pinball table. And although I really do like it, you can get it cheaper. You know, there's $4.99 for the Star Wars one, and there's $5.99 for the Marvel one over on Games sale at the moment is actually pretty decent. 50 quid off NFL Blitz, which brings it down to 550. We go over there to Game. You can get it for $3.99, 400 quid. That's an extra 150 quid off. That's a really, really good offer. And I really wish they would ship over here, because I'd pick that up. I don't even like. I think it's a unique game. I think it would draw people, and I like that. Also, you've got just loads of stuff on sale. Like, there's $4.50 for the big golden tee. I've always been on the fence on that, and I do really like it. The price was just too high. I think $4.50 is doable. I really do like it, and again, they just don't ship over here. So yeah, if you're looking for a couple of little sales, have a look at Quirky, have a look at Game. Liberty Games actually, they have a flash sale on at the moment. Now, I can't say it's amazing, but if you're looking like a little bit off for, you know, Fast and the Furious, there's 40 quid off. It's better than a kick in the teeth. Again, there's, you know, Star Wars, 40 quid off. It's not the greatest sale in the world, I'll be perfectly honest. But it's the first one I think that I can actually say there's been money off, rather than seeing, you know, this all the time, sale, and it being 800 quid. It's always been 800 quid. It's never changed. But here we go. There's a flash sale for 7 days. Be interested to see after the 7 days, is it still that price? I can't be sure. One thing I did notice was that the Big Blue actually dropped its price slightly on Smith's website. So it was originally $369 when it went up, and the Miss Pac-Man Cabaret was $349, and now this one is dropped to $349 as well. Now, I don't think it's a sale. I think it was maybe an error on the original listing. So I think it was always meant to be $349. But for some reason it went up on the site as $369. Can't really say for sure, as they never really answer any of those kind of queries. They just say that the support team don't have any of that kind of information, which is fair enough. So If anyone has pre-ordered this, don't worry, because of the Smith's Price Promise, you'll always get the lowest price that it was listed for. So if you pre-ordered before the price drop, you will still get it at the lowest one. The 349 is definitely very tempting for me, and I think I will end up pulling the trigger on this one. It's coming in September. I am hoping to get my hands on a Scintillant light gun around September as well. So I'm hoping they get a few in, and I can sort of pick one up. I'd be quite happy to have this Street Fighter cabinet in the arcade. Like I say, I've never been a fan of the Yoga Flame or the Shinteika Hadouken one, but lovely artwork, don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's like the ones I have are fairly arcade accurate, bar the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Obviously that had to be created because it always appeared on either a Candy Cab or a modified Big Blue. You know, it was upgraded afterwards or retrofitted to it. Big Blue I think it's a lovely machine. I really do like this at the front as well. The sort of the Ryu and Bison kind of silhouette or artwork or however you want to call it. I do like the big marquee, and then just the simple, you know, blue set art. I think it's a lovely machine, and I'd really like to pick it up because there's some fantastic games on it. If we go down there, you can see we've got Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Darkstalkers, Night Warriors, Darkstalkers Revenge, Darkstalkers 3, Saturday Night Slam Masters, Knights of the Round, Eco Fighters, Capcom Sports Club, and Muscle Bomber Duo. So there's a load of really cool games in there. Yes, it is kind of you know, fighting heavy, but you've got games like Saturday Night Slam Masters and Muscle Bomber Duo are kind of wrestling type games. They are very cool. You've got Knights of the Round, which is a side-scrolling beat 'em up. It's a very good game as well. You've got Capcom Sports Club, which is kind of 3 games in one: basketball, football, and tennis. Yes, tennis is the other one. So a load of really cool games on there, and I think it would make for a nice little addition. In here. So the big news from, well, kind of at the end of last week is that atGames are actually going to be bringing new games to their platform. So if you haven't seen the announcement, atGames have got a licensing agreement with Microsoft and Rare. So yes, these games are going to be coming to atGames. So we've got Killer Instinct, we've got Battletoads, we've got Solar Jetman. Now, Rare have been around for a very long time. People don't really remember that Rare was about before, you know, Viva Pinata or Banjo-Kazooie. They started out as a company called Ultimate Play the Game, I believe is the correct. Oh, you're gonna kill me. Was it Ultimate Play the Game? Let me have a quick look. Sorry. I'm almost sure it is Ultimate Play the Game. Yes, Ultimate Play the Game was the original name, and then in 1985 they changed to Rare. Now, there's some fantastic games that they've done in the past. Killer Instinct, Battletoads are the obvious ones. But you've got ones like Snake, Rattle and Roll. Let's have a little look. There's a big list that comes up. So 19 all-time classics that are going to be added to the... oh, this is actually really interesting as well. So the 19 games are going to be added to the atGames software selection. They are also going to be adding new pinball tables, and they're going to be based on Rare's titles. So we've got one for Sea of Thieves, which I am back into in a big way. I'm really enjoying Sea of Thieves. I like being able to stick it on even for like half an hour. Just at the end of the day, just sail about, do a few forts, grab my stuff, take it back and sell it to the sovereigns. Sea of Thieves, I think, would work really well as a pinball table. You've got Killer Instinct. That's a fantastic IP to be able to develop around. Now these are all going to be brand new tables. There's nothing like them that's been created before. So we've seen atGames do this with Taito, and more recently Dr. Seuss and the Discovery Channel. So we know they have the ability to do them, and they've been getting better. Some of the Taito ones were a little lackluster, but certainly I think the Dr. Seuss ones have been doing really well, and they're getting really positive reviews. Battletoads will be a really interesting one as well. I think they could pull that off fairly well. The Sea of Thieves one is the one I am most interested in, though, just because it's Sea of Thieves. So here is the list of the games titles that are going to be added. So you've got a Tic Attack, Battletoads for the NES, Battletoads for the Super Nintendo, Battletoads Arcade. You've got Cobra Triangle, Digger T Rock, Gunfight, Jetpack, Killer Instinct 1 and 2, Night Lore, Lunar Jetman, RC Pro Am 2, Saber Wolf, Slalom, Snake Rattle and Roll, Solar Jetman, and Underworld. Now, as you can see, these games range from arcade titles to home console titles to they're actually Spectrum ones. I think I had Snake Rattle and Roll on. I want to say I had a Commodore 64 port of that. I might be mistaken. Certainly, like these ones, like Lunar Jetman, I vaguely remember playing these on a Commodore 64. So I don't think they were like exclusive to the Spectrum. Back then, games just went on to any system that wanted to take them. But I love the Rare games, and the fact that Arcade 1-Up didn't bring the Killer Instinct cabinet over to the UK when Rare is a UK company is just such a big miss, in my opinion. This is now going to cost them. For some reason, Arcade 1-Up has lost their exclusivity with Rare. Now, whether they've lost the IP entirely, I don't know. I'm going to say they're not going to be able to develop any more Rare titles than what they have. I think the Killer Instinct Pro was pretty much it. atGames, though, we have all these games coming over from Rare, and this is really cool. Cool to see. Now, what I wanted to find out about this, because I think they said just later on that all of these games will be coming to. Oh, there's the release titles, or sorry, the release dates if anyone's interested. So June was the press release, so we've got that now. We have a date in August to be confirmed when the pre-orders will start to come along, and then the pre-order release will be sometime in October, November. So I'm probably going to end up pre-ordering in August, so I'm going to keep my ear to the ground on that one and see when we get a date for that. Now, I'm not sure if they mention it now, but all of these games are compatible, they say, with the Legends HD and Legends 4K range of products. So what I have is the Legends Gamer Pro. Now, it comes with the this little puck, which they call the core. So I didn't know if mine was going to run. Now there is the Core and then there's the Core Max. So I reached out to see whether or not the original Core would run these games or if it was going to have to be the Core Max. So they actually got back to me to say, thank you for reaching out. atGames customer support, happy to assist. The new games are planned to work with the Core and Core Max. Those devices both fall under our HD products. Everything categorized as either HD or 4K. And I didn't realize that. So I think this has also been confirmed by P-Dubs lately as well. And he actually went into it in a bit more detail. So when the 4K products were released, or when they were announced, they actually renamed all of the existing hardware and called them HD. So they're all fall under a category of Legends HD. So the Core Max, the Core Plus, the Legends Gamer Pro, the Legends Gamer Mini, the Legends Ultimate, and the Legends Pinball, they all fall under the category of Legends HD products. And then we'll have the new ones, the 4K Ultimate and the 4K Pinball will be the 4K, and the handheld, actually the handheld will also be categorized under HD. So it should run this as well, the new handheld that will be coming out soon. So that's really cool. Now, I know that I cannot get Killer Instinct running on the Core with CoinOps X. It can't run it properly. It's an absolute show to try and to get that to play at all. So I'm really happy to see that they're saying that these games, Killer Instinct 2, are going to run under the Core. Now I'm sure there's a lot of work that needs to be done in order to get it to work on the Core, and I'm hoping closer to the time we'll be able to see what they've got. I know people had complained about the way that Killer Instinct ran on the Arcade 1-Up hardware when it first came out, so I'm really interested to see who they bring in to get this running on the atGames. Now you got to remember, like, these guys, it's not one product that they've got to get this working on. They've got a load. There will be the crazy people that are going to try and play Killer Instinct on the pinball machine. There will be people that will attempt to do that. So it's got to run on that. It's got to be able to run on the Core Max, the Legends Ultimate. So they've got a fair amount of work ahead of them. But I'm really happy to see that this is the way that they're going. They're not leaving anyone behind, which is really good to see. I always wanted to get my hands on the Core Max, simply because there was a few games on the CoinOps X that I couldn't get working very well. So I was looking at picking that up. However, it kind of went out of my mind because I was able to get those games running on the Raspberry Pi, and it's built into the bar top, so that it runs things like Bubble Memories, Bubble Symphony, runs them really well, whereas CoinOps X stuttered and stalled. So that's kind of, I think that's really good news. Now, it has been pointed out that they haven't said how much the pack is going to be, if it is a single pack. So let me go back a little bit, because I have my if it was me, we have 3 arcade titles. if I was doing this, I would split these games, these 19 games, into 3 packs. And you would have one arcade title and then a selection of the others. So for example, if I was doing a Battletoads one, I would do Battletoads Arcade, Battletoads SNES, Battletoads NES, and then maybe a couple of, a Spectrum one, another NES title, something like that. I wouldn't package the 3 arcade titles together, because that is what most people are after. Now, it may be that they'll do one pack. Hey, Gunstar. It may be that they'll do 1 pack. I don't know. That might be putting it out of people's reach, because it's probably going to be pricey if you're going to do it as 1 pack. Maybe I would do it as a combined pack as well. However, me being me and thinking as a sneaky salesperson, there's only 3 arcade games in here. I would do 3 game packs and only include 1 arcade game on each pack, because most people are going to be they're wanting Killer Instinct and Killer Instinct 2. I would certainly make sure that those 2 games are on separate packs, so that you get people buying at least 2 of the packs, so you're getting more money. But like I say, it's all speculation. I have no idea whether or not they'll go down that route of splitting up the packs. If it's just going to be 1 large pack, we don't know how much it's going to be. We'll find that out in August at some stage. But I think it's really good to see that atGames are. I think it's really good to see that atGames are adding more titles to the arcade machine. Now, we've had it for a while where they've added a load of games and tables to the pinball. The pinball table was getting all the love for quite some time, and people who had the other products like myself, I was happy enough to keep putting stuff on through CoinOps X and things like that, but there was no real new native games. And then recently they did a load of stuff for their arcade net. That was really good to see. And now we're getting a whole bunch of new games that hopefully we'll just be able to buy as a pack, download onto the machine, and go for it. Oh, you're speaking my language, man. Hang on 1 sec. I would like to try Killer Instinct 2 on the ALP. I was just saying that there will be some crazy people that will try and get Killer Instinct running on the pinball machine. And here we go, straight away. We've got someone who wants to run it on the ALP. But yes, that's what I mean. Like, it's a difference between the way they had to do it for Arcade 1-Up. They only had 1 machine. Well, I suppose there was, technically there was 2. There was the Pro as well. But with atGames, you've got so many more products that you've got to get this running for. And yes, there will be people that try and run these games on the ALP. But I'm very excited to see this. I definitely will be picking up the Killer Instinct one. Battletoads Arcade I never played. I only played the SNES one. So yeah, I'll give the arcade one a go if I can get my hands on it. I think that would be really cool. And then we've got other games on there from from my childhood, RC Pro-Am and Jetpack and things like that. Games that I actually have on, probably sitting around here somewhere. I have a Rare Replay disc for the I think it's the Xbox 360. So like I have all these games that I could easily play. Well, maybe not all of them, but I definitely a big selection of them. But yeah, being able to play them on an arcade machine is definitely going to be really, really cool. But that's all the time I have for tonight. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Would really like to hear your opinion on what you think of the partnership with Rare. Is there anything that you're worried about with them? Is there anything that you're looking forward to? You know, things like that. Also, yes, if you have any suggestions of other games you'd like me to check out for consideration with the Polycade, fire them over because I'd love to have a look at them. I am gonna go and have an hour look at that Dave the Diver. I do think it will work really well on an arcade control system, so I want to try it out, and then I'll be able to get back to you on that. But yes, thank you very much, guys. I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye for now.